How's everyone doing? Before I start my informative speech, I want to discuss two definitions that will be important to it. One, civic benefit, and two, self-preservation. Starting with civic benefit. Civic benefit is something that would benefit the society or benefit civilization. A good example of this would be a law that benefits most of the civilization. Next, self-preservation. Self-preservation is the self-defense of oneself from bodily harm or death. An example of this were to be if someone were to break into my house right now and try to kill me, self-preservation would kick in and I would fight, and in that I would try to kill them so that I would not die. Now I want to talk about gun rights. This is a very heated topic that splits the country, especially with today's political climate. There's one side that believes that guns need to be more regulated or that they need to be just flat out taken away from American citizens. Then there's the pro-gun side, the side that believes that every American has the right to bear arms. Each side has their stance, has their reasons for the stance that they take. People who are anti-gun like to use the argument that no innocent life should be taken by a senseless gun crime. I think most people would agree with that. No good person is gonna disagree with the fact that innocent lives should not be taken by a senseless gun crime. There's just two different ways of looking at it, because people who are pro-gun believe the only way to stop innocent people from getting shot is for there to be a good guy with a gun to stop the bad guy with a gun. In all the midst of the arguing, however, people seem to forget about facts and base all their arguments solely on emotion. Let's take a look at some of the facts. In 2017, nearly 40,000 gun deaths were reported. That's an astonishing number and a terrible number. However, what's not talked about a lot is that 60% of that 40,000, just under 24,000, were suicides. They were people taking their own life, not gun crimes. So now we're left with around 16,000 gun crimes, lives taken because of senseless gun crimes. The CDC did a study, and they came to the conclusion that on average each year in the United States, anywhere between 60,000 to 120,000 lives are saved by defensive use of a firearm. That's 60,000 lives saved by firearms to 16,000 lives lost by firearms, innocent lives lost. This is a very important number and a very important statistic that needs to be looked at more if someone is going to make an argument on this topic. Now I want to talk about self-preservation. Self-preservation is instinctual for human beings, and the reason why people are pro-gun is because they believe that in today's world, the only way to guarantee to have a shot at self-preservation is to have a gun to defend yourself against those who would try to hurt you. If someone were to break into my house and they had a gun and I did not, I would have no good way to defend myself. And it would be most likely that I would get shot and my family would get shot. There are two Christian perspectives on this. The Christian community is split right down the middle on this one, just like America is. There's the side that is anti-gun and the side that is pro-gun. The anti-gun side likes to base their argument off of the Sixth Amendment, thou shalt not murder, which seems pretty clear. Thou shalt not murder. However, people who are pro-gun may look at Exodus 22, verses 2 through 3, where it says, "If a thief is caught breaking in at night and is struck a fatal blow, the defender is not guilty of bloodshed, but if it happens after sunrise, the defender is guilty of bloodshed." What this is saying is that if someone were to break into my house in the middle of the night and I do not have any way of knowing what their intentions are, I have a right to defend myself and my family and kill them. But if it is during the day when someone breaks in and I can clearly see that they're trying to steal and not hurt me, there is no reason for me to kill them. Looking at it this way, if someone is committing a mass shooting, it is okay to take that person's life to defend yourself, your family, and the lives of innocents. That is how the pro-gun Christians look at it. In conclusion, each side has their stance for a reason, and each side believes that their stance and their policies would bring the most civic benefit to our country. And the same thing goes through looking at it through a Christian perspective. Both believe that their side is better in a Christian worldview. I hope that you guys can take something away from this discussion, and I hope it was very informative. It's something that I'm very passionate about. Thank you, and have a good night.